Anku, should I start?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Once again, myself PS Chauhan, as many of you are maybe knowing, a volleyball coach from Sports Authority of India, and you all, the knowledgeable volleyball coaches of my country, representing various parts of the country, sitting at different places in this difficult time. Really, I at a very outset, once again, like to thank the organizer of this coaches development program, that is Sports Authority of India, and all the peoples who are their painstaking efforts sitting there at Bangalore, organizing this program very nicely. And thanks to them for giving me once again opportunity to interact with all you knowledgeable volleyball fraternity. As I was directed by from Bangalore itself, many of the people still did not submit their email ID to the organizer. Please mention in your chat box when you are mentioning your name, designation, whatever is there. It is required. You also mention your email ID also, so that it is for various reasons required. It is the basic requirement of the Sports Authority of India, and it is the basic requirement of this program. It is the part of this program, and it is mandatory to everyone who is participating in this program, who have registered themselves to attend this program. So let me start my topic today. I have generally the three topics there. One is the block, the defense, as well as the libero in the volleyball. So let me start it where I left it day before yesterday. That day I tried to cover a little bit about the attack. It is very difficult to cover each and everything from even one technique, and more stress I have given on the reception, a little bit on the service. Let me talk about the block. As block, you know, it is the first line of defense in volleyball. And for me, or you can say I am along with those persons who think execution of the block is the most difficult technique in the volleyball. Why it is so difficult? Because in many techniques, just like the service, ball is in your possession, then only you are executing it. And another techniques also, you are getting sufficient time to execute the technique. Even in the difficult technique as the defense, there is a gap between the touch by the opponent and touch by the defender. Attacker is attacking the ball from opponent court. If you are defending on your court, there is a little bit gap, distance, and there is, so that the time will be more for you to execute your defensive technique. In block, it is very much close to the net, and you are putting the hand towards the opponent court. The time is very less to execute the block. That's why it is called the most difficult technique in the volleyball. Now, it is also the point getting technique. So you know, there are 4 channels through which we can get the point to win the set, to win the match, whatever is there. These 4 channels are majority of the point, out of 25 points, majority of the point, or you can say 15 to 16 point, or two-thirds of the point, you are getting only in the attack. Then block is the part of complex 2 as the service. Then 4 to 5 point you must get in the service and the block. Then only you can expect 4 or 5 error by the opponent. That is the 4th channel. And block, if you are not getting the point in the block, means if you are not good in complex 2, you are not getting point in the complex 2, you cannot win the set. That is sure. You will win the set, you will make the lead in points. If you want to take the lead against the opponent in any set, you must get the point in complex 2. And block plays an important role there in getting the point in the complex 2. Then it's execution. I'm not going the tandem block or this block and that block and all these things. I would like to discuss only the reality situation, what is happening in the court. Now, first of all, before giving the training in the block, we must analyze kind of attack is possible from the opponent side. There may be a various kind of attack, but generally, especially attack from the zone number 4, or I will talk only the zone number 2, from where most of the attacking system will be there. Most of the teams are adopting this zone for their attack. So we can divide basically in very simple manner the 2 kind of attack by the opponent or any player, by any attacker. One is the line attack, that will be down the line, very simple. Another one is the diagonal attack, or you can say the cross court attack. Only 2 kind of attack. And There is another thing. If there will be two kind of attacker will hit either it down the line or he will hit it diagonally or cross court, maybe from the zone number 2 or maybe from the number 4. So there is two kind of attack. You can divide it into two parts. But to catch him with both the angle in block, it is not possible in modern volleyball. Mind it. Because previously what was happening? Few years back, the attacker was asking the setter, set the ball closer to the net. Setter was also setting little bit closer to the net. If the ball is closer to the net, then you can imagine the ball crossing space over the net will be very less. So it is possible even in the single block that you may not allow the attacker to hit either at down the line or may not be able to, he may not be able to cross your block diagonally also. It means you can catch both the angles. In modern volleyball, the attacker is not attacking from closer to the net. Minimum, they are utilizing or they are attacking the ball or the setter is setting the ball to the attacker. It may be at zone number 2 or 4, minimum 1 meter away from the net. We are also teaching the same. At least you have to attack the ball minimum 1 meter away from the net, or sometimes it is a little bit more. If it is away from the net, the ball crossing space over the net will increase. It will increase. Ball crossing space from here to here, it will increase for the attacker. It will be much better for the attacker. So it is not possible sometime even in the double block or sometime in the triple block to catch both the angle. To pack, you can say, both the angle in block. That is not possible. So what to do? Then you have to decide to catch one of the angle, either it is the line or it is the diagonal, and try to defend the free ball on another side. That is the defensive system. You have to strengthen the defense in the another side, one side, and you have to defend the one side. Now the question arises how to decide that which angle should be blocked. It depends upon the information regarding the opponent attacker. Because that we are doing even at a domestic level, at international level, definitely there we are analyzing the opponent. Either we analyze their previous match or we will get some information with any other sources that there are always kind of attacker. I can divide it into three parts. One is the line attacker. Line attacker means when the attacker is using most of the time down the line. And he is not hitting, very rarely he is hitting cross court. He is using down the line. So that time we used to say he is line attacker. And most of the attacker are hitting diagonally, cross court. When he is hitting cross court, then we are telling that he is diagonal attacker. That is two kind of attacker. And third kind of attacker is little different. When they are attacking from zone number 1, they may be hitting down the line. When they are attacking from zone number 2, most of the time they are using diagonally. So if you are having this kind of information, then you can organize your block individually with the player, whether you want to catch his strong point, which is his strong point, which is his strong angle. It is line or it is the diagonal. If it is diagonal, then you are catching the diagonal. If it is line, then you are catching the line. Another thing is there, which is most important now in the modern volleyball, that is the single block. How the single? Now you see, what is the single block? Single block, you see, most of the time when opponent pass is correct, even if your pass is correct, when we are talking about accurate pass, what it means? It means the pass or the service reception is at the position from where it is possible for the setter to execute any kind of combination of attack. Or in another word, I would like to say, or you can understand, it is where the pass is in such a place from where it is possible for the setter to set the ball to any player or any of his attacker who is there with him in complex 1-4 attacker, as I discussed previously in my previous lecture also. That is the accurate pass. Then you have to decide, introspect yourself in the training also. What is the quality of the service of your team? It depends upon that. As it is a worried part, and we already discussed, other people also discussed in this program, that the worried part for the Indian volleyball is effectiveness of the service. If effectiveness of team at any level, it may be a domestic level, if you think the effectiveness of the service is less, what it means? It means the accuracy of the first pass or accuracy of the reception by the opponent will be more. If it will be accurate pass more, then more and more time you are facing the single block situation to the team. It is there. I will give it an example. If I will analyze, the service of my team is that much not effective, and possibilities are there. You should also expect this one. Possibilities are there. Minimum 50% accurate pass on your team service is possible or will be there against you by the opponent. Their first pass is good, or because of your poor service, because of less effective of your service, team service, the 50% accurate pass will be there from the opponent side. If it is there, if it is accurate pass, many setter in the domestic level, you might have seen, you know, and 100% setter at the international level. If the first pass is accurate, they are able to create single block situation to their attacker. What it means? This is important thing. What it means? It means if accurate pass of the opponent against you is 50%, then the 50% of the attack opponent will be against you in single block. You cannot join the block. The setter will create the 50% of single block situation, or very less no block situation. It is very difficult to combine. And don't stress, give a stress to the middle blocker every time join for the 12 and 92 block. He cannot join there. No blocker cannot join there. Even then we are scolding the center blocker. Hey, jaldi jao, jaldi movement karo. It is not possible for him to join the block in 12 ball and 92 ball. We discussed this already there. Then there will be a 50% time, there will be a single block situation to your team. Then you have to introspect yourself regarding your training. Whether during the coaching camp, during the training, whatever the time you have provided for the block training, out of that time, 50% time was given to single block or not. The players were trained in single block or not. They should be trained. It is more and more trend now in modern volleyball in single block. And again, to strengthen my statement that it is not possible to cover both the angle, line as well as the diagonal, is more powerful now. In single block, it will become more and more difficult. Then I would like to hear mix here the defensive system also, because of the single block system. What is our defensive system? Yeah. Then you introspect yourself, how you are developing your defensive system. If it is a similar defensive system for double block, the same block is the same defensive system, defensive system, double block defensive system will be the same, triple block system will be the same, and defensive system in the single block or no block system situation will be the same, then chances of failure in the defensive will be more and more. So it pressurizes the defensive system. You have to change the defensive system according to the system of your block, according to the ability of your block. These are interrelated, because the effectiveness of the block depends upon the effectiveness of your service. If your service is not effective, it will pressurize the blocking. The effectiveness of the defense depends upon the effectiveness of your block. If your block is good, it will strengthen the defense. These are interrelated. So here, as we are talking about block, and I was talking about single block, and the defensive system will be according to that one also there. Now, you see, how to decide that which angle the blocker will catch, which angle the blocker should block the ball. Either it is the line or it is the diagonal block. Then only it depends upon the information regarding the opponent. That is the reason we required more and more people to collect the information regarding the opponent along with the team. Even I am remembering in the recently concluded, as we were discussing day before yesterday, also in the Asian Championship, it happens in 2 days that training timing and our opponent match timing next day was the same. How to analyze? Then, thanks to my assistant coaches, R.P. Taylor and Abdul Nazir, they went to the match and I went along with the team for the training. So they collected the information from the match, and there was some personal instrument with the Abdul Nazir to record the match, and information was brought to me. Then I analyze it, and in the team minute told to the boys. Then you have to decide. You are having we are doing also at the domestic level. If you are playing against any team in the next match, you are asking your team and yourself, you are sitting in their previous match to analyze their match. What kind of analysis it would be there? Yeah. It should be, among other things, you are analyzing also if their attacker is a line attacker or a diagonal attacker. From zone number 4, what kind of attacker they are from the zone number 2. If you are having this information, then we are making our strategy in the team meeting, asking our player, the blocker, catch this attacker diagonally, and then you are taking chance of defense on the another angle. Yeah. And how to decide this? Then there is a signal system. Now, I would like to, it will be very easy to understand if I will share here in the blocking system my experience. So I taught my, during the training, I trained my player. We decided only 2 signals. Yeah, 2 signals. First of all, I would like to share here who will signal it. Middle blocker? No. Because a lot of pressure is there in the middle. Middle blocker, the duty of the middle blocker, if the attack is from zone number 4 and 2, is only, if possible, to rush and join the hand with the side blocker. That is his duty. Which angle they are going to catch, either line or the diagonal, it will be decided by the side blocker. If side blocker is deciding, he will catch the diagonal. Suppose at zone number 2, generally it is the setter and the universal. Attacking is from the opponent side. He decides for zone number 4 attacker. Always one person will be there in all the 6 rotation. He will decide, I will catch him diagonally. Or there is an information with us. He is a diagonal attacker. And sometimes we are shouting from outside, hey, diagonal block. So he is leaving almost 1 meter or sometime more than that from antenna and blocking inside. Leaving the area line free for defense. I will come later on that also. Yeah. Then how to decide? He is, you might have seen somebody, then we decided signal. If it is a signal 1, that blocker, side blocker, let it be first discussed at zone number 2, universal or setter, to block the opponent zone number 4 attacker. If they will signal 1, it means they are catching the line. They will not allow the attacker at zone number 4 to hit down the line. They will not allow him to hit down the line. Then we will strengthen the defense diagonally cross court. If he is giving a signal by showing 2 fingers on his back to the back defender, then it means he will not allow the opponent attacker to hit diagonally. So line is free, line will be defended. And inside he will not allow. And they were trained also, if the middle blocker will able to join them, all right, that will be the bonus to the team. If middle blocker will unable to join there, the result should be the same. You should, if you are not able to block, then you should not also leave the free ball. It should not come to the team. It should be after the deflection of the block. Yeah, it was decided. Then somebody asked me, those who were watching the match, who were asking the signal, they have seen at international level in the matches that they are giving a signal from the back, 2 signal, 3 signal, or like that. Yeah. Yes, they are doing this. That is, they are more advanced than us. At least we decided which angle we are going to catch, either it is a line or it is a diagonal. But they are deciding further. They are planning further as if the ball will be defendable. If it will be blocked, finish, ball will be finished, okay. If the rally will be continued, then what kind of counter-attack they will organize, that is another signal. They are deciding it very advanced. Yeah. That is the reason Kutso Hertz from Poland used to say, volleyball is like a chess, because they are deciding very advanced their next movement, but with 70 miles per hour. He says this thing long back. Volleyball is like a chess, but with 70 miles per hour. Now the speed is more, you can say more. Instead of 70 miles, you can increase the mile. Its speed is more. But you have to catch one angle, mind it, and take a chance of defense at the another angle. How to decide the angle? It depends upon the information about the opponent attacker. Yeah. Same way from zone number 2. Yeah. There, most of the time, we are using the attacker, zone number 2 attack of the opponent, and zone number 4 block is there from our side. I'm talking about zone number 2 means zone number 2 attack. It may be from zone number 1 or from zone number 2. That time, the side blocker is always the attacker at zone number 4. He also gives a signal. If he is giving a signal 1, it shows, it means that he will not allow the attacker to hit down the line. And if he is showing 2 finger to the defender in the backcourt, they understand already that he will not allow. Where he will jump? He will jump almost 1 meter inside the antenna. Then only he can catch it, because the ball crossing space is more there. This way, really, I am telling you the reality, our team improves the blocking system there. And it was trained like that only. They were told, if it will be a single block situation, the opponent will create single block situation, the result of the block should be same. It improves our block point, as well as it reduces the error in the block. The same way, what I am telling you is here, I would like to share. I don't know how many of you will like it or not. I don't know. Against Pakistan in the semi-final, what happened? That's why I would like to quote it. Yeah. The universal of the, I'm not remembering the name, the universal of the Pakistan player was such a good player, really. Now I think he's playing in the senior also, there in the Pakistan team. He was so good, and I can say he was one of the best universal in the entire Asian Championship. And he was not declared the best universal in the entire championship because of his failure against our team in semi-final. He was fully the diagonal attacker and powerful diagonal attacker, and he was unstoppable by the other team. We lost to the Chinese in the final, but Pakistan beat the Chinese in the pool matches because of that gentleman, because of that universal only. So he was using only diagonal. So when we analyzed the match, when my assistant coaches RB Taylor and Abdul Nazir recorded the match of the Pakistan, and we also saw in the team meeting, it was completely clear information with us. He is using out of 10 times, the 10 or setter was using maximum. Their entire game was moving around that universal player. Setter was very good of Pakistan, there is no doubt. Equally good of India, I can say. And he was using him from zone number 2 or 1, he was hitting only diagonal. So it was decided we will block him diagonally, that's all the line will be. And in second set, especially, 4 single block, we got 5 single block point against that particular university of Pakistan, particular universal of Pakistan. Yeah. 4 block alone. You may be aware of the player alone. He is not considered very good blocker in the Indian volleyball. Sean G. Ton, Shridhar sir is also utilize him in the senior. He is also listening there. Sean T. John from the Kerala. You may be knowing him, playing for Kerala in the domestic volleyball. Single-handedly, 4 block by him and 1 block by Amit, the captain of my team. What happened? The chief coach of Pakistan team, the Chinese man, they are having the Chinese coach. The Chinese man, he was the chief coach for the Pakistan team. He substituted him, asked him to sit on the bench, and he was never, he did not allow him enter the court in the entire match, and it was a little bit easy to us to win the match. That was the reason. So that was the effect of this kind of blocking, adopting this kind of system. Another benefit what the team got from adopting this system was we played 8 matches in the championship, and out of those eight matches, there were 50 points in block by the opponent. We lost 50 points in entire 8 matches against the opponent in block. But we got 95 points in block. It is not imaginary. It is there in the public domain. 95 points in block means clear difference of 45 points only in block. So I can say, or anybody can say, the contribution of the block for our team winning the silver medal or reaching in the final was very good. So this is the system. Simple way. One thing is there, one I would like to again explain. You have to give more and more single block training, or don't try to catch both the angle, one angle and one try to take a defense. Yeah. So what I did, when I introduced this system to the player, they were slightly hesitating in defending the free ball. But again and again, I tried to hit on them. I tried to hit on them, hit and play. And after passage of a few days, after some training, they were confident they can play the free ball. It is a question of training. Otherwise, you don't have any option. You don't have any option. Yeah. And during the warming up session also, we used to ask them, no, you have to come for the attack only after defending the ball. For one side, attack, defense, let it go anywhere, you collect the another ball, and if it is not correct, you collect the other ball, but only after touching the ball in the defense. So it improves them, their confidence, and they were confident we can play, and they defended so many good ball at the international level in the matches freely. Then I would like to come in the defensive system. In the defensive system, so many people asked me why I used Libero at zone number 6. I used my Libero at zone number 6. Most of the team are using at zone number 5. So many people rang to me after that championship. They send by sending a message on the WhatsApp, or some of them also send us the mail. Those who are having my email ID, why you use? Or even during the Bhubaneswar Senior National Championship, many people also discuss regarding this also, why you used Libero at zone 6. Why you used Libero at zone number 6. And among them, if I can pronounce the name rightly, Nagavardhani, I think so. Her name is from railway. Yes, exactly. So she came to me. I want to discuss with you. What you want to discuss? Why you use the Libero at the zone number 6? Okay, fine. Then I explained to her. Here also, because defensive system is the part of the topic, so I want to share it also. I use the Libero at 6. Why? When people is asking me, I used to ask them why the answer is correct and which it should be. Everybody is saying they are using the Libero at 5 because most of the time is using zone number 4, and at zone number 4, most of the time attacker is using the diagonal attack, cross-court attack, or you can say the zone number 5 is the zone where you will receive maximum number of ball in complex 2 for defense. Right. That is the reason the best defender of the team, that is the Libero, we are putting him at zone number 5. In another word, you can say we are putting him at the position where the maximum number of ball is about to receive. Correct answer. Then I used to answer them. I used to question them. I used to ask a question to them. Okay, this is right. Libero is there out of 6 rotation. Libero is there in complex 2 for defense in 4 rotation. In another 2 rotation, when we are talking about defense. In defense, he is only in 4 rotation inside the court to defend the ball. And in 4 rotation, you are putting him at zone number 5 is the right choice. Yeah. Another 2 rotation, when he is outside the court, you are placing blocker at zone number 5. Who is poorest defender of the team? Everybody will say blocker is the poorest defender of the team. It means in 4 rotation, you are right. You are putting best defender of the team. But in another 2 rotation, You are fixing there, you are placing the poorest defender of the team at the position where you are receiving maximum number of the ball. Is it right? Maybe, or may not be. You have to decide this thing. Yeah. So even long back, because we know blocker is the poorest defender of the team. Yeah. So in long back, 2005, when I was working as the chief coach of the Indian youth team, the blocker, those who were that time in my team, Gutikonda Pradeep, you know very well, very good blocker from Andhra Pradesh, now in Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and Shelton Moses, the bank boy from Chennai, yeah, and the Sube Singh, HIDC officer now, Haryana. These three were, they knows. And my assistant coaches that time, who worked very hard with me, Kuteshwara from Andhra Pradesh and Mona Greta from, at present at Chandigarh, posted at Chandigarh, from Himachal itself, they knows. I used blocker as a defender at zone number 6, that time also, in 2005 also. Because in that rotation, attacker is the best defender. If you want to best defender at zone number 5, so let it be the attacker there. If you want to prepare for counter-attack before defending the ball, that is a mistake. Counter-attack is the third, fourth phase. First is the block, then you have to defend the ball, then it is the set, then it is the counter-attack. You are preparing yourself for counter-attack, compromising with the defense, that is wrong tactics for me. So I use the libero. I trained the libero, that poor fellow from Karnataka, Hari Prasad, very good boy, really, may God bless him, at zone number 6. Why I used? Because I already explained to you, defense or the system of defense depends upon the system of your block. Don't decide the system of defense first. This will be the, and without deciding the system in the block. That will be the wrong kind of training in my volleyball. You first decide the system of the block, accordingly decide the system. So I used the libero at zone number 6 to defend only free ball. I trained him, I tried to train him. I don't know how much succeed because it was a very short camp, not a longer duration camp. That is another issue to discuss. But he was used at 6. How I used it? Now listen carefully. When zone number 4, universal, zone number 2 blocker, blocking the zone number 4 of the opponent, universal or setter, suppose blocker is there, universal is there, he is giving a signal 2. I already explained what it was meaning to my team. Is showing to he will block diagonally. It means if attacker will hit a diagonal ball, it will be definitely blocked, or at least deflection will be there. If it will not be there, then it is the bad luck of the team, or maybe the fault of the blocker, maybe the very good ability of the attacker. It happens so many times. 100% success ratio is not possible in any kind of tactics or in any kind of strategy. You will adopt 100% possibility, success ratio is not possible. And line will be free. In that situation, those who are defending diagonally at zone number 5 or 4, they know hard ball will not come to us. If the ball will come to us, it will be after the deflection of the block. And zone number 1 defender, if the universal is the front line, zone number 1 there is a setter, he knows it will be a bombardment upon me. If attacker will hit down the line, even if it will not is a stronger side, he will change his decision. Instead of diagonally, he will hit down the line, it will be bombardment. So to defend that bombardment, I asked the libero, I used the libero from zone number 6, move towards the right, towards the zone number 1, strengthen the position there with the setter to defend the free ball. So again, I would like to use here the language of the mat. The zone number 1 defender, let it be the setter, blocker there as a universal, was standing on the first mat closer to the sideline as usually, and libero quickly moving from the zone number 6, he was standing in between the 2 and 3 mat, very much close to each other. Chances of more ball, free ball was there, and so many times we succeed in defending the ball. Yeah. And the same position His basic vision is at 6. If universal at zone number 2 for the zone number 4 attacker from the opponent side, if he is showing 2 finger, what it means? It means that if he is showing 1 finger, it means he will pack the line. Line he will not allow to attacker to hit powerfully. If he will hit, he will be blocked, or at least some deflection will be there, and it will be easy for the number 1 player to defend the ball. The speed of the ball will be very, very slow. If it is a little bit here and there, the backline player, he knows I have to move and play the ball, easy ball will be there. And cross court people, zone number 5, he will move forward position, another position, and I'm talking about the libero. Libero will move to the left side. Join hand with the attacker at zone number 5 to defend the cross court free ball. So libero was used fully to defend the free ball by utilizing him at zone number 6. That was the reason. Here. Same way from the zone number 2. If the attacker is catching the diagonal ball, diagonal block, don't allowing the attacker to, blocker is catching the diagonal ball. If attacker is hitting diagonally, it will be blocked, or there will be some deflection, an easy ball to the defender, and down the line, it will be again the bombardment. If he will change his decision and hit it down the line, then it will be a very hard ball there. In that situation, libero will move towards zone number 5 to defend the free ball, join hand, you can say in simple language, with the attacker at zone number 5. There. That was the reason to utilizing him. If it will be again line block, some of the universal or the attacker in one rotation from zone number 2, if they are using the line attacker from zone number 2, that time a block is also there. It is decided that it will be line block from our side. That's why very initial stage I told both the angle, catching both angle in block is not possible. So we decided to catch one angle, and libero was moving towards the right side to defend the cross court ball. To defend the cross court ball very nicely. Yeah. So the way, that's why I explained, I don't know, many of you maybe not liking my language or that thing all. Many of us are adopting the same kind of defensive system for all the kind of block. I think this may be one of the reasons of the failure in the volleyball. Yeah. You have to strengthen the defensive system according to the ability of your block, according to the system of your block. And never in volleyball, modern volleyball, decide that you can catch both the angles. It is not possible. Not possible. If the ball is close, then you can immediately, the blocker can change his decision, can catch the ball. That is another issue. Yeah. But normally, you try to catch the stronger point of the opponent if you are having the information, and strengthen the defensive ability and improve the defensive ability of your player to defend the free ball. That is must in the modern volleyball. Otherwise, we cannot improve volleyball. Anything else. Yeah. Now, the third topic is the libero in volleyball. You may, especially the new coaches, may catch some of the point from this topic, the libero. The libero exactly was introduced to the volleyball during the year 1998. Yeah. Or you can say, we have seen the libero first time in the field of volleyball in 1998 World Championship. Then only people came to know, oh, there is one another player called libero. He was introduced there. There. You see, the volleyball is changing very, very fast. It is changing very, very fast. It is becoming from normal volleyball, it is becoming more and more power volleyball. That is the reason person with more power more successful than the person with good technique. That is the reason the area silencer. Again, I am remembering that gentleman, the author of the power volleyball, who was the coach of the US team, now residing the Poland team, then the Israel team, so many teams he handles at the international level in the Olympic, and now as I met him in Japan, Nakamura Club, Tokyo. That time his son was his assistant coach there. What a really. He used to say, the person with a very good technique and with less power will be useful in the field of volleyball. He was telling about the power is must in the volleyball. So we can say it is not the volleyball, it is the power of volleyball. This is the reason Asian countries are struggling at the international level, at the top level, world level. Because we are thinking that it is reality also, Asian countries are very good in the technique. But they are struggling against the team, those who are having a very good power. They are not winning because they don't have equally power than the other team from the Europe and the Latin American countries and the whatever is there. Other countries are there. They are not having that much of power. So they are struggling. Another situation in the world sports is, I would like to discuss here, there is always a competition between the one sports organization then to the another sports organization. One game to the another game. They are working, their bosses or their organization, FIVB, along with the other international federation, they are struggling against each other. They want that their game should be popular in the world so that their game should be able to attract the more and more spectator and able to attract the more and more younger people towards the game. There is a struggle. The same thing, volleyball FIVB are always struggling how to popularize the game among the masses. I am talking about among the masses. The problem arises, the information came really from 1996 Atlanta Olympic. There was a report that the difference between the complex 1 and the complex 2 is very huge. Complex 1 was 70% in Atlanta Olympic and complex 2 was 30%. Or in another word, you can say offense was 70% and the defense was only 30%. Then the question arises, how the game can attract the spectator, how the game can attract the younger people. The game which are having the thrill, the people will attract towards that. If thrill will not be there in any game, it looks the boring, people will not come to watch and people will not come to play this game. Thrill is must to popularize the game. Why there is a competition? If you will lose the popularity, you will lose the Olympic game tag also, which is there with your game since the 1964 Tokyo Olympic. Tokyo looks dangerous, really. It was decided in 1936 during the Berlin Olympic, the show of Nazi, the Olympic of Hitler, that the 1940 Olympic will be conducted in Tokyo. And volleyball will be included. Those people who are teaching the history in the diploma classes, they know is much very well, and you also know the history. It was decided. But what happened? In 38, World War. And Tokyo got a chance to conduct the Olympic in 1964. And also that time also, luckily, we got a chance to introduce the volleyball in the 1964 Olympic. This time also, Indian International Olympic Committee decided 2020 Olympic will be conducted at Tokyo. We are receiving the corona. So it will not be conducted there. So that it looks the dangerous to decide that Olympic will be conducted at Tokyo. Anyhow, I am talking about the Libero. It shows, the data shows from the 1996 Olympic, there was a very gap. So rally thrill was not there. The thrill was missing from the volleyball because rally was not there. It was just service reception, setup and attack, finished. So people were not enjoying. So chances of losing the popularity was there because there was a gap of 70%, 30% in the offense and as well as in the defense. Another situation arises in the volleyball very fast. It was becoming, as today, more and more for the taller people. There was no place for short people in the game of volleyball. It happens there. Nowadays, you see, the teams who are at the top level in the world, their average height of their team, in the men's section if I am talking, their average height in the team is closer to 2 meters, 2 meters or more than 2 meters. That is the height of the player in the modern volleyball. This is the reason. The Lian Li a professor of volleyball in the California University used to say, he said in so many times, this is not volleyball. This is now giant volleyball. Human beings are not playing. And another reason, one of the Brazilian lady in her survey submitted her report to the FIVB, our international organization, that above the height of 190 centimeter and in men's section and above the height of 175 centimeter in the women's section, there are only 10% of the population in the world. What it means? It means we are popularizing the volleyball only for the 10% of the population in the world. And we don't know how much of this 10% we are able to attract. A very, very small amount of people we will attract towards the game of volleyball if this thing happens. So, FIVB was under tremendous pressure to do something that we will not lose the popularity. Otherwise, possibility may be there, we will lose the Olympic game tag also. It was report from the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. So they decided, so the introduction of Libero, there was a two reason in the 1998. The first reason was to strengthen the defense and to make less difference or close the gap between the offense and the defense, which was previously, as I told you, 70% and 30%. To close the gap, that was the one reason. So they decided, we will introduce the one player who will strengthen the defense of the team. He will participate in the defense. He will strengthen the defense only. And if he will strengthen the defense, definitely there will be a more rally and enjoyment will come back to the volleyball, and people, there will be a thrill, and we will be able to attract the more and more number of people towards the game. This was the one reason. Another reason was that they made a rule that this gentleman, the defensive player, he will not be allowed to participate in the point getting technique. What are these point getting technique? You know, three are there only, the point getting technique. One is the attack, another one is the block, another one is the service. He was not allowed to participate in this technique. Reason was very simple. If he will not participate, forget about the service, in block and attack, and he was allowed only to play in the backcourt to strengthen the defense. So they thought there will be a chance for the short-heighted person, the smaller person, you can say, who is not very good in the height, to participate in the volleyball at the top class, at the top level. Because when we will decide, he will be completely the defensive player, and defensive player will be better. Who is better in defense? It was a thought that the short-heighted people will be the better in the defense than the taller person, because his movement on the court will be very fast. His movement on the court will be very good than the taller people because of his center of gravity. But the shorter people center of gravity is closer to the ground, so that he is moving faster than the taller people. That is one of the scientific reasons. So they decided for the two reasons. Then they drag this word, the word Libero. This is not, gentlemen, the English words. They drag it from, it is from Libero words from soccer, because soccer or football, that time they were using the full back player just in front of the goalkeeper. They were using it there. And in the history of, if I'm not wrong, in the history of this soccer or football, you can say the Beckenbauer from the Germany, who later on became the coach of the Germany football team also and won the World Championship, World Cup, he is known as a best libero in the football history because he was the full-back player in the football. This word back from there, so this, no, not only in the football, now we are using this libero in the volleyball because of his nature of play, because he will be the defender on playing only in the back. That's why it was used there. And the question is, what is the importance of the libero now in the volleyball? Firstly, when he was introduced in during the year 1998, that time in the championship, many did not bother about the libero. And so many countries utilize their experienced attacker, or you can say the ex-player, ex-attacker, as a libero in the team. And there were only a few countries, those who were having the new faces. At the passage of time, the importance of the libero becomes very, 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 very high. And sometimes in modern volleyball, it looks a man in the victory of the team. Sometimes it looks that the team won only because of they are having a very good libero, because of his spectacular defense, because of his two very good service reception on the very good service and the complex one, and beautiful defense, two or three beautiful defense. Able to work those defenses and those first passing point to their team and won the set as well as the match. So that looks man player in the victory of the team. And some experts is that libero, importance of libero in the volleyball is equal to importance of goalkeeper in soccer and hockey. It is equally. Playing without the libero in soccer and hockey is equal to playing without the goalkeeper in soccer. Playing without the libero in volleyball is equivalent to
Sir, some internet issue, sir. Networking issue. Just hold on.
I think you have muted. Please check once.
1 second. Ankush, he not there, yeah. 1 second. No. Ankush, can you call him once?
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक अब आप कर दिया मेरी आवाज आ रही है अब
Yes, 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 sir.
My
Yes,
sound is
sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Can I start again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think everybody is listening now.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a problem. It is clear now, na?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can start, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. That's so kind of you. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Now again, there was a little bit network problem might have been at my place because of the heavy weather is there. I am sitting closer to the Himalaya, you can say. Yeah. And I was talking about the libero, importance of the libero. Now, I would like to switch quickly that what exactly was the libero on the volleyball. What changes came in the volleyball? There came a lot of changes in the volleyball, but I would discuss the times running away, a few of them. The most significant change after the introduction of libero was this gentleman compelled the FIVB to change the rally point system. There was not a rally point system where most of us thought you get only point complex 2 only on your service. If you are winning the service, rally on your service, then only you were getting the point. And there was already a tremendous pressure on the FIVB to reduce the duration of the set, to duration of the match, because it was longer and longer and longer and longer. We know from the history itself there are also matches which last more than 3.5 hours. So already pressure was there to reduce it, the time. So because of that, there was a pressure to do something. In Atlanta Olympic, which was the base to introduction of the Libero in the 1998, the data shows that the duration of the one set, average one set, was 31 minutes. Clear? It was 31 minutes per set. And expert submitted a report to FIB. If we will introduce the Libero, he will strengthen their more rally will be there, and it will increase definitely the duration of the set. And they give a calculation, I don't know how, this duration of set will be increased up to 45 minutes. It will increase up to 45 minutes, which was 31 minutes at that time. So it was increasing the duration of the match. So immediately they decided itself in the 1998 to introduce the rally point system, and it is today. The introduction of the rally point system, it was not new for our volleyball. We were already having the rally point system in the fifth set right from the 1st January 1998. It was introduced. The fifth set rally point system was introduced. Most of you may be aware of that, from the 1st January 1998. At that time, they decided the second will be the last point. And happens volleyball. If there in so many matches, even at the international level, there were 16 all. When the 16 all was there, the team which is receiving the service mostly were losing the point because something was the last. Mostly winning the point. The serving team was losing the point, and as well as they was losing the set as well as the match. So there was a lot of objection that it should be like this. So from 1992 Barcelona Olympic, they again changed the rule. They said no, 17 point will be not the last, but it will be, there will be always a 2-point lead, and it is today. This was the most significant change. Another significant change was there the introduction of 3-man receiving system as it is in modern volleyball. That's why I'm saying. You may be able to catch a lot of things. The new coaches may be able to catch a lot of things. It was the introduction of 3-man receiving system. This gentleman, Libero, was used as a third receiver in the team by most of the team, as it is used in modern volleyball. Because FIVB make a rule that in complex one or in service reception, he will be always there in all the 6 rotation. He will be always there. So this 3-man receiving system with the same player, the idea came, listen carefully, from 1985 World Championship. The 1985 World Championship considered in the history of volleyball as the power of strength in the world volleyball. Why? Because in 1980 Olympic, which was conducted at Moscow Olympic, you can say, USA did not participate there. And in 1984, Olympic was conducted in Los Angeles, 1984, and USSR, the then USSR, did not participate, and their blocks did not participate in that Olympic. So 1985 was the world champions, was considered as a show of strength in the field of volleyball. Who is better, USSR or USA? They were the main power of the world volleyball that time. Yeah. USA team in that world championship decided they will play with the 2-man receiving system. And those same two men will receive service reception in all the 6 rotations. The idea came from beach volleyball. If in beach volleyball, only 2% is receiving the entire court, covering the entire court on the sand, so on the normal floor, the 2% can cover. The idea came in the mind of the coach, and he used the same 2% in all the 6 rotation and fixed another 4% in service reception in such a way they were not participating, that there should not be any rotational fault. It is told to us, the coach of the USA team in that championship submitted the paper to the referee board. My formation will be this one. Don't try to give the rotational fault. These papers were distributed. That is a good thing. You see, these papers were distributed to all the referee participating in that world championship. You see, USA team will play with this system, and it is not a foul. Study carefully. Anyhow, that was another thing. And the USSR team, coach decided, okay, let them utilize the two-man receiving system. He decided, we will target only one player for entire service. Keeping in mind, he asked his player, target only one player. They decided at one player, all the service target him. Keeping in mind, if the game will be stretched towards the fourth and the fifth set, that gentleman may lose the concentration and it will help the USSR team, they can win the match. The idea was good, but they failed because that gentleman from USA did not lose his concentration. And that man was Catch Corelli. You are very much aware. Catch Corelli was the chief coach of the bronze medalist women team of USA in the Rio Olympic. And at present, he is also the chief coach of the USA women team. Later on, that gentleman was declared as the player of the century in the world volleyball. And in the world volleyball, player of the century in women's side is Regla Torres from the Cuba. Why I'm talking this? The player of the century is Matsudaira from Japan. He is no more. The player of the coach of the century, Matsudaira from Japan. Player of the century, Catch Corelli, is from USA. Why? What is the difference between the Regla Torres, the woman player of the century, and the man player of the century? Catch Corelli height is 88. Is 188 centimeters tall. And the Regla Torres, who was declared as the player of the century in the women volleyball, her height is 191. She is 3 centimeters taller than the Catch Corelli. So they targeted the Catch Corelli. He was very good. And USSR lost. So the idea came, I'm discussing this, idea came from there. So they decided, okay, the two men continuously in all the 6 rotation will receive the service. They will play diagonally. They will be attacker. And that Libero will be the third one. So by the induction of the Libero in the volleyball, by introducing him, the 3-man receiving system started there. That was the second most significant change in the field of volleyball. Another thing, now there was so smaller thing also changed. It did not reduce. Now I would like to discuss only thing, whether FIVB fulfilled their aim by introduction of Libero or not. Let me discuss only because the time, very short time is there. Their first aim, as I already told you, was that to strengthen the defense, to strengthen the complex 2. But rule was made in such a way that in complex 2, in the defensive, he was called a Libero as a defensive player. But he was allowed only in 4 rotation out of 6 rotation. In 2 rotation, means 33% of in the defense, he is sitting outside. He's outside the court. And in complex 1, they were reducing the complex 1. He helps in strengthening the complex 1. So the gap which they thought it will be reduced between the offense and the defense, it became more. The Libero today is strengthening the complex 1 rather than the complex 2. There. Because everyone, suppose if you are allowed to use one Libero, at senior, at international level, they have started, you can use the 13 player, 14 player also, you are allowed to, there will be a team of 14 player also, and the 2 Libero are compulsory. If you are selecting the 2 Libero, okay, that is another issue to discuss. But if there is a 1 Libero is allowed, every coach want, if you are having a 2 Libero, one is very good in defense, but not that much of good in reception. One is very good in service reception, or not equally good in the defense. Which player you will select? Please select reception Libero. We are selecting the who is very good in reception because we want to strengthen the complex 1 or 2/3 of the point. If you want to win the set, you are getting only complex 1. Means 16 points you should get complex 1. That is only possible if your first pass will be correct. Another thing, so then you can decide whether they fulfilled their aim or not. Yeah. The second aim was that short-handed person can participate at the top level. If you are remembering few days back, when my senior, Sridharanji, I am really having a privilege, and I am very proud that he was my first chief coach when I started working with the national team long back, 20 years back in 2000. He was chief coach for me when I entered with the national team. He was the chief coach for me. He told when he was discussing with you the modern trend in the world volley. And in the last of his lecture, he says, what will be the height of the different kind of player, blocker, universal, setter, or attacker, outside hitter, whatever is there, receiver, attacker, what you want to pronunciate him. And he says, if you are remembering correctly, the height of the libero will be or required 1.8 to 1.98. If it required 1.8, libero should be more than 1.8 centimeter or may reach up to 198 centimeter. You are told so many teams in the world is having a 2-meter height and more than 2-meter height libero. Whether FIVB fulfilled their aim? Why it is so? It is because, as I explained you in the previous lecture, the speed of the service we want to strengthen the complex one. The speed of the service is 130 and more than 130 kilometer, as one person explained. There, ask the question: what is the speed of a volleyball player in the service? So I told you, if it is with a 120 kilometer, it will reach to you in less than 0.27 seconds. So it is very difficult to player even take a half of the step in service reception. So if there will be taller libero, he can cover more area and he can be able to touch the ball, play the ball, receive the ball in complex one. That's why we require tall and libero. Also, height of the libero should be more. Because you see, in Rio Olympic, the Brazilian height of the Brazilian libero was 195. So when they decided in the 1998, while the introduction of the libero, that the short-heighted person are having a chance to play at the top level volleyball, now you can imagine whether they fulfill their aim or not. That Rakesh, time is over now, no? So if there is any question, let it be go to the Rakesh. Nobody is listening there. Ankush.
सर अनम्यूट कर रहा है सर वो मेरे को मैं पूछता हूँ फिर
हैं
मैं देखता हूँ सर क्वेश्चन वो अनम्यूट कर रहा है मेरे को
अच्छा पूछ time is over. If there is any question, they can
Sir,
ask.
1 minute, sir. Ankush?
Sir, one question is there: has India succeeded with Pankaj Sharma as a libero?
This question is rightly from me. I have never used him. Pankaj Sharma, I think they are talking about the services player, if I'm not wrong. He was along with me in the Pro Volleyball League. I utilized him as an attacker, and he was used one time or twice, I think, as an international player. Sridharji has answered this question very nicely. As a libero, yes, why not? It is a question of training. He's good in reception. He's very good in defense also. He is having a very good reaction ability. So he can be trained as a libero. There is no doubt.
When, sir, another question. Are you there? When attacker hit the ball while attacking, what is the actual palm position? Palm should be in curved position like ball shape, or palm should be straight, because some of the players nowadays using straight palm position. Old players used curved palm.
You want to go with the old player? Yes, because we have, what happens exactly after the reduction of the pressure in the ball, these changes came. Yes, I can understand the volleyball. Previously, because we were using very, very close ball, the ball crossing space for the net, as I already explained, was very less. So with cup position, whatever we started talking about, the curving position, the chances of wrist attack, what you are saying, cutting the ball was more. In modern volleyball, we don't require that much of cutting because we are already using away from the net, so it does not require much. But if anybody is having the ability, especially the quick attacker, that your first choice is useful for the quick attacker may not be useful for the outside hitter or the universal. और एक चीज और मैं फिर I would like to remind it again. Please mention your email ID as it is informed by the Director General. It is informed by the Director from the Bangalore itself. Email ID is must. And another thing here, I forgot here, anybody can ask, not only today in this class, if any time, tomorrow, after this class, or day after tomorrow, or any time, they will feel I can help them in any situation, in their training, whatever in their question, I can answer their question. Please, 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 they can mail me. My mail ID is already there. You can note it down. Chauhan, simple, Chauhan, Chauhan, VBC, which stand for volleyball coach, Chauhan, VBC, volleyball coach, @Gmail. That is my mail ID. And my phone number, I am having only one number. I am very simple man, very simple, and my number is 941890022. Very simple number, 941890022. 00222 in the last, 94189 in the first. That is my number. You can call me anytime. Don't see the time. What is the timing? I may be disturbed or whatsoever. No. Anytime, whenever you find, you can call me anytime. For any kind of question, I will feel happy. That will be my privilege if I will be able to answer your question. If I will not be able to answer your question, definitely you and me will find some solution to answer that. Thank you very much. Any question?
अभी तो है नहीं सर, अभी देखो एक मिनट. One another question, sir. Sir, according to you, what are requirements from the Libero in 14-man team? Which practice?
What are the requirements of Libero?
According to you, what are requirements from the Libero in 14-man team? He means to say, means when there are two Libero, what will be the, I think.
Yes. Okay. I got it. Yes. When we are selecting two Libero, we have to use both of them. Then in that situation, we have to select one reception Libero who will always play in the if team is we are putting inside to receive Libero. Another is the defensive Libero. If you are having two different kind of Libero, if one is having a very good in defense, you select him. Another is very good in reception, you select him. You have to select, don't select two same kind of Libero. You have to use one. So that's why when we are selecting two Libero in the team, 14% are allowed there, but there is a rule. More than 12% are allowed. they will be only allowed, your team will be only allowed to participate if you are having a 2 libero in that. And playing inside that court is not necessarily for the libero as per the rule. As per the rule, if you want to play without libero, nobody can stop you. But playing without the libero, as I already told, is equivalent to playing without the goalkeeper in soccer and hockey. So where there is a 2 libero in the 14, you select one defensive libero, very good in defense. And don't, please, previously when it was introduced, it was a recommended post in volleyball. There was a pressure, I know, on the coaches. You select this player, you select, he's not deserved. Hey, select as a libero. My God, how you can select as a libero? Yeah. So don't consider it as a recommended post. So in 14, you select one defensive libero and one reception libero. Any other?
In VNL, defense percentage is higher than before. What do you think about this? Volleyball National League. In VNL, Volleyball National League, defense percentage is higher than before. What do you think about this?
Which volleyball league?
Volleyball National League.
Where?
Ankush,
Yes.
11:45.
Okay, we'll finish with the last question.
Yeah.
एक और question है, sir. What is the basic qualification for selecting libero, like skill-wise and characters, psychological qualities? Whatever. I think.
Yeah, that is some other way. Actually, after a few days, I think Dr. will cover a lot of things as the psychological preparation of the team. So he will also cover, I am very much sure, what should be the quality of the player when you are selecting, psychological point of view also. And we already talk about the height of the libero, and we also talk about the footwork of the libero. You should catch these things. So we have decided definitely technically should be solved. Okay, Ankush, thank you very much.
Sir,
there is an indication for you. It is a lot of time. You have to arrange another meeting also. Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Sir, thank you.
And if there will be my lecture on the 4th, please inform me, okay?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Can we leave?
Yes, sir, we'll leave now.
Okay, please. Okay, thank you very much for patiently listening, coaches. Okay, thank you very much.